You're listening to 99.69 Swaggy Swag Radio. You're listening to D. Reckon and Cole Tony.
Cole Tony, 420 Blaze It. You're listening to The Morning Zoo.
You just got listening to As It Was by Harry Styles on Super Hard Death Metal Radio.
Dude, that is the absolute... It grinds my gears when it's like, we only play the hardest rock, and then right into... It's just like, okay.
Yeah, and I saw a meme. It was I don't know if it was a Reddit or a 4chan, one of those 4chan green texts, and it was like things like we're rock. This ain't your dad's rock station, hard rock, and it's like a thunder sound effect and like glass break. It's like super hard rock. We're just super metal, and then it's just like, and now here's the next song. It's the beginning of Radioactive by Imagine Dragons.
The funniest thing is they say not your dad's hard rock. I guarantee you, like dad rock radio is harder rock than like AC/DC is more hard rock than Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah, it's like hard rock radio will be like Machine Gun Kelly, and then dad rock will be like she was a man, the thunderstruck.
You're not bad at doing that, honestly.
It comes from a deep-seated like hatred of that man's voice.
Oh yeah, it's like I love AC/DC. Brian, I'm more of a Bon Scott era AC/DC than Brian Johnson. Mm-hmm. I get why people would get annoyed with his voice.
Yeah, the music's not bad. Like I'll bump to some new AC/DC with that guy's singing in it, but I will internally make fun of it.
I like that it's new AC/DC and it was still 40 years ago.
Yeah, some of that new AC/DC. But hey guys, welcome back to the Huggercast. I know it's been a minute. The only podcast that doesn't get invited to their 10-year high school reunion, which is coming up soon, actually.
We were talking about that before we started recording, and it just made me feel old. Like, really, really old.
A little look into the editor's and recorder's chair. This is our second time recording because I opened up my recording software and realized that my mic was not connected.
And then before that, we were having problems with my voice being all weird and scratchy. So it is
We've had times where it feels like God just doesn't want us to record, and
we have to spit in his face and say, "No, we're doing it anyway."
Listen here, Godothan.
That's his full name.
That's his full name.
Godothan Christ.
Godothan Chrysler.
Why does Godothan Christ sound like a great name for like a goth singer in a band?
Ooh, we might have to make our band and call it Godothan Christ.
Like, I can picture just some like going back to what we were talking about earlier, like some typo negative type vibes, just like I don't want to be me. That's a good lyric right there. I don't want to be me. No, that's one of their like big songs. It's a good song.
That's a typo negative?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I brought up in the first recording about how I've recently found that a lot of women love Deftones. Like, they just love Deftones. And I'm like, are they good or are you just horny?
I think it kind of goes both ways. Like, they're for their genre, they're pretty good. And they're, like, what I say? They're a very brooding band, which is sexy to a lot of people.
Just the singer sounds like he's coming every time he hits a high note,
which I understand though, because it makes it like a it builds that way. It's not like some songs that try to be sexy from the get go and it's just not. But if it's like a slow build up into it,
what I find to be like, I don't know if it's just me, I find to be a sexy band.
What?
Muse.
I can see that.
Yeah, like, I've only heard a few songs, but whenever I hear them, I'm like, there's something, like, weirdly erotic about this.
It's not all their songs, but there are definitely some that it's his voice, the kind of higher pitched.
Yeah, especially, like, that really big one. I forget the name of it. I have it on my playlist. Uprising.
Is it the Coom playlist?
It's got a Hudson Mohawk. It's got
that song it's everywhere, and I don't know how I feel about it.
It kind of slaps. Like, I'm gonna say it kind of slaps though. Like, not to have sex to, for sure.
Okay, yeah, I can see. I didn't realize it's in Workaholics. Somebody pointed out that there's an episode
Really?
where, yeah, it's when Anders is waking up like from a party and he's in the trunk of a car. That's playing.
I'm gonna have to go back to that episode because that's pretty great.
I don't know why, but that little like part that's just what I imagine the girl's libido when she was having sex to that was just
like a like a clown's nose being deflated.
That's exactly what it was.
Like the thing because I'm a weirdo, so I view a lot of things, and I'm a creep. That's Radiohead's worst song, by the way, and I will stand by that.
I go by it's their best.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not big into the later Radiohead stuff.
I wouldn't say I don't know. Like I still am getting into them. Like I've listened to more songs like throughout the years, but I would say that like No Surprises and Karma Police are way better songs.
Karma Police is pretty good. I will give that. But like I've listened to the OK Computer album, and
that's like everyone's favorite album, Colton.
It's I mean it's not bad.
You might make a few enemies here.
It's just it feels too. I don't know how to put it into words. Like it's okay.
No, I get it. It's not for everyone, and like they tickle the specific music needs that I have. Like I remember
understandable.
I remember you recommended them to me. They're like, Derek, like you would really like Radiohead, I feel, and I was like,
it does go in. I think into your what you kind of like. It makes you think. I don't know why I just thought of this. Have you heard Maroon 5 before they were Maroon 5?
Oh, Kara's Flowers?
Yeah.
Dude, I have a song by Kara's Flowers. It's that Soap Disco. I don't know if that's the one you heard.
When they did Weezer better than Weezer does?
Yeah, I was like, this is actually pretty good. Like, why didn't they keep doing this? I mean, I know why they didn't keep doing it, but still, like...
It sounds like Weezer.
Yeah, and like...
so weird to me.
And like, me and a coworker were talking, because I was like... Adam Levine's voice is odd.
It is. It's not. I'm not going to say it's a bad voice though, but he is very distinct.
Yeah, it sounds almost robotic, and like he was mentioning about how like it seems like he's forcing a falsetto every time he sings. By the way, guys, this episode is sponsored. No, I was kidding. This episode is going to be more about music. Specifically, we're going to get into our sort of musical guilty pleasures. That's going to be like the topic.
Yeah, that's. I think it's a fun one though, because everybody's got one of those songs that they're just like, you like, but I
have a bunch. Yeah, but like, one more thing about Radiohead though, I will say, I think I don't know if Tom York is the writer. I don't know if he's the main writer of those songs.
I believe he is.
If he is, he's an insanely good lyricist.
He is his. Because it's not just your typical kind of like what you expect in rock music. He tries to. Sometimes I feel like he tries to be a little too deep.
Yeah,
but
I
think
get that.
Everybody who writes has tried something like that, where it's like, I want to be real, and it's just
I want to say something. Like I hear No Surprises, and I'm like, dang, like that's just such a well written song.
What is your opinion? The best bad lyrics.
The best chickadee China to Chinese. No, that one's actually kind of catchy. No, I remember we used to make fun of new kids on the block have a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick.
The best.
What did he mean by that? Is the question.
He meant that he likes Chinese food,
and that New Kids on the Block does indeed have a bunch of hits.
You know, when speaking of like just bad lyrics, the other day I don't know why I was on like a shitty new metal. I was just like, I want to listen to this today. Like I don't like it, but I want to listen to it.
It's fun to listen to. I'm not gonna lie.
It's so entertaining. Like it's so bad, but
cut my life into pieces.
I was listening to some bow bang the bang diggy diggy said the boogie set up jump the boogie.
God, who is that? What band is that?
Kid Rock.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds so familiar, but I forget. Yeah, I forget that Kid Rock, like, because now he's viewed almost like a hillbilly rock kind of like, almost country. But he used to be like edgy.
He was all the one. Like there's something there's a line of something about like painting the town red while he paints your wife white. It's just like Jesus Christ.
He also has that lyric from that Osmosis Jones song where he talks about liking underage girls.
Oh yeah, it is scary how prevalent that used to be of just like how all the rock stars been saying about how they like teenagers.
Yeah, and it's like you might want to not.
But at the time they're just like, oh, that's just them.
It's like, can you don't?
Can you take me higher?
Can you, dude? Creed? I don't like Creed. Like that's not even like a guilty pleasure. I just don't think they're good.
Oh, they're terrible. But I will say that song has become one of my all-time favorites solely because the greatest date in American history, November 22nd, 2001.
Ooh.
Set the scene. Shortly after 9/11,
of course,
it is Thanksgiving Day. The Dallas Cowboys are playing. The halftime act is Creed. They play a medley of their biggest hits. Higher comes on, and they have the most ornate stage show of all time with the guy flying with like these fake wings, and it is the greatest moment in American history.
That may have made 9/11 be kind of like okay, you know.
It's that, and then you know, I'm this has nothing to do with his politics. I'm not a George Bush fan, but George Bush delivering the first pitch at the World Series right after 9/11 in a bulletproof vest, a perfect like fastball down the middle of the plate. That was what the country needed in that moment.
Yeah, I feel like that sort of like post 9/11 patriotism, it was like kind of needed, you know.
It actually did feel like a lot of actual patriotic stuff, not
like faux patriotism like you see now.
Although there was that fucking one song, God, I don't remember. They used to play it all the time in elementary school.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
That song made me want to kill myself every time I heard it.
Why is it that there's so many minorities? I mean,
you just went straight into South Park, the water park song.
Didn't South Park had that 9/11 episode like right after it happened too?
Was it right after?
I don't know if it's right after, but like it wasn't too long after, right?
I think it was a few years after, but when it was like how the whole conspiracy and then the government did it, then the government didn't do it, but then the government didn't actually do it, but they want you to think they did it so that you think they're more powerful. Like that one was hilarious.
It's the one where they go and they find Osama bin Laden, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I was like, that was like not too long after, right?
That one was not too long after. They did another one years later, though, about, like, the cause of 9/11.
9/11 has just skyrocketed into just meme territory.
It's become that thing, what is it, my favorite joke is, what's the difference between 9/11 and a dead cow? You can't milk the cow 20 years later.
Ooh. Pete Davidson jokes about 9/11 because his dad died in 9/11.
I think if anybody has credit to joke about it, then it's him.
Before we get back to music, what is your honest opinion of Pete Davidson?
I don't really care for him, but I have nothing against him.
Does your wife like Pete Davidson?
No.
Okay.
I don't understand how women think he's attractive, though.
I've ran into a lot of women that love him.
He looks dirty.
Oh, right. One quick thing of current news. There's not a whole lot going on, but yesterday, as of recording this, they announced that Deadpool 3 will be coming in 2024. And Hugh Jackman will reprise his role as Wolverine.
That is very exciting. Have you seen all the little teasers they've been putting out now?
Yeah, I saw the one. I saw the initial one where like he just walks in the frame. He's like, "Hey Hugh, you want to return as Wolverine?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, Ryan." And then he just like goes upstairs.
That one, and then they did another where it's like, "We're gonna answer your questions," and it's them talking. And then it just fades to oh god, it's one of those super poppy 80s songs. I don't remember which one it is.
Is it one of the ones?
No,
they used
it might
in
be
the movies?
Jitterbug.
I was like, ah.
And it's just them like explaining the plot of the story, but with that playing over it and them acting it out. It's really funny.
That's great. Ryan Reynolds is he's an American treasure.
He understands this generation's humor very well.
And what, like, I hate the people that are like, oh, he's so overrated. He's not funny. I'm like, dude, like, he's great. You know?
He's really funny.
Yeah, he's just a great, like, actor and a very funny dude. Like, quit. Yeah, people. I feel like people feel the need to hate things sometimes because they're popular.
Yeah, I used to be bad about that. I've gotten better though. Like if I really don't like it, then I'm not gonna pretend. You know,
as a teenager, I was horrible. But
like Ryan Reynolds, I like him. He's funny.
You know what though? I'm gonna go right out the gate with the musical guilty pleasure. I actually enjoy Machine Gun Kelly's first full length album.
Oh, when he was still a rapper?
No. Oh, sorry. His first full length pop punk album. Because I know he released another one, but Tickets. I think it was Tickets to My Downfall was the first like big one.
Yeah, because I remember when that came out, you saying like it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, I was like, actually, it's just your bare bones like 2002 pop punk BS, you know.
I remember you saying like it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's just
fun.
Yeah, just because sometimes you need that just cheesy pop punk.
Not a lot of thought put into it. The only thing that ruins it is how Machine Gun Kelly is as a person, or how he's been the past year.
I love that Eminem took him down so hard that he just doesn't rap anymore.
Yeah, I see. But to be fair, like whenever I see that, because I listened to him when he was a rapper too. Not a lot, but a bit. And he did incorporate a few like rock elements in his songs before then. So me hearing that, it would seem kind of like a natural progression, but I like to people who really didn't like listen to him as a rapper, I could see like he kind of just completely switched genres.
Yeah, no, I mean I knew it was always there, but he was mainly
he completely first. Yeah. And he does not have a great voice.
No, but I mean, like I love punk. Most punk dudes can't really sing.
like some of the guys from NoFX, or the two guys that sing, they're not great singers.
No, Fat Mike is a terrible singer, but that's what makes it good.
There's something about his voice that is just intoxicating.
Well, because it fits the style of music. Like picture an actual like classically trained singer on like The Decline or something. It would not work.
It wouldn't work. Like it works for like some like melodic punk artists.
I think the only like punk rocks, I mean there are definitely more, but the one that I think of like big name that can actually sing is Danzig.
Oh, from the Misfits?
Yeah, that dude.
Oh, I got something to say.
Like he can actually, like he did an Elvis covers album that's kind of funny now because he's all old and fat, but back in the day, like that dude had a voice.
I'm trying to think of like punk artists who are like, I mean, it's not as much punk, but I do like the guy's voice from Rise Against. It's not super.
No, Rise Against is definitely punk.
Yeah, no, some people will probably be like, yeah. But
those are the people that don't want to admit that there's different genres of punk. Like, not everything has to be super fast hardcore.
They must all be Black Flag or nothing else.
Yeah, I love Black Flag.
Yeah,
I like the Circle Jerks more. But
Black Flag is coming. They're coming to San Antonio. I think in October.
Yes, I wouldn't want to see it now. When Off comes back through, I would love. Have you ever listened to them?
I've never listened to Off.
They are. It's one of because before Henry Rollins, Black Flag had like 4 or 5 different singers. They had a bunch of people, and they had a guy named Keith Morris who is a lot of people's favorite. And then he went on to form the Circle Jerks after, and now he is it's like a punk supergroup called Off, and they're fantastic.
That's pretty neat.
Neato.
It's pretty swell. We can go to that their musical rock music concert and have us a nice milkshake after.
Hey kids, do you want to go to the punk rock show?
Let's go to the punk rock show.
But man, Guilty pleasures, though. I'll say the first one I have is Spiderwebs by No Doubt.
Dude, No Doubt, old No Doubt, like that is no guilt.
I love No Doubt. Like it's ska, but not quite like ska punk. Just
it's like
that more commercial
ska pop punk, I guess.
Yeah, it's just fun though.
Yeah, like I really wish that Gwen Stefani would make stuff like that again.
Had stayed in that genre.
Yeah, instead of making really boring country music with her husband.
Yeah, but I mean, we have the good times.
We still have the good times. We still have the memories. I always find it interesting when like singers of different genres get together. Mm-hmm. Like we got this like ska artist and then a hillbilly together.
Yeah, I mean that's if they like each other, they're both attractive people. It makes sense. Hot people tend to go together.
I just wish they would make better music together.
Man, I'm trying to think of other weird collaborations. I know
Jack White used to collaborate with like everybody.
Oh, but he was versatile enough that it made sense. It's not like some weird out of left field. Like that's just what he did.
Yeah, because like Jack White did stuff with like ICP, and I think he did a song with like Alicia Keys. He did a song with Loretta Lynn. Like he was everywhere.
That's why I'm not a big fan of like award shows for music, but I do kind of like some of the collaborations that end up happening because of them.
They're always weird, and I like them.
Like the big one I remember from a few years ago that was like, it makes sense because they're both huge, but I never thought it would happen, was that Lady Gaga Metallica collaboration.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was, it made sense being like two of the biggest artists of basically ever, but...
The one that I tuned into live too was when Imagine Dragons and Kendrick Lamar did a collab together.
Oh,
and that stage show would like, I know people hate Imagine Dragons now, and fair, very fair, but like that stage show, it was when they were first blowing up, dude. Insane.
I mean, sometimes though, that's what like I was one of those guys that would clown on Nickelback and everything. Until one of the guitarists for one of my favorite bands, Alice in Chains, was saying, he's like, everybody likes to like clown on them, but have you ever been to one of their shows? He's like, that'll make you a fan. It's just a fun atmosphere. And then I was like, that makes sense. It's not something I'd listen to on the radio, but I could actually see a Nickelback concert being fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever met like a Nickelback fan who's like a mean person. Like they're usually generally nice people, and they're very chill, and they don't shove Nickelback in your face.
No,
they're just like, oh well, I like them.
Yeah, it's all the like more artsy bands that are the ones that everybody's like, oh, you can't believe you listen to that radio garbage.
That Nickelback. Didn't the guy from the Black Keys, I forget his name, the drummer with the glasses, didn't he talk crap about Nickelback too? Oh,
yeah, he said something about, he's like, I can't believe they're the biggest band in the world. And then they came back and were like, thanks for saying we're the biggest band in the world. That cracked me up.
That is such a Chad response. Like,
oh, I just realized that dude is legitimately Chad.
That is Chad. That's such a Chad thing to say. He is the Chad. Although I will admit that one time they tried to do like disco. Oh my God.
I remember when I was in high school, there on YouTube, they had a cover, like, apparently they were playing a concert where Metallica was going to be there like the week after, and they played a cover of the Four Horsemen. And I remember as a high schooler just being like, I can't believe Nickelback would cover this band. This is so stupid. I hate Nickelback. But now I look at it, it's like they actually didn't do too bad of a job.
Yeah, they actually did a pretty decent cover of Saturday Night's All Right by Elton John. Like, it's actually pretty good. I'm like, God dang.
That might end up being a guilty pleasure music for me.
Yeah, because I love Elton John. Not guilty.
Man, I love Jacob, friend of the podcast. His grandma went and saw Rocket Man when it was out in theaters.
It's such a good movie.
And she's like, I really liked it, but there was so much gay sex.
There was a good amount of gay sex.
But Jacob was just like, Grandma, this is...
He was gay.
It's Elton John. Like, what do you expect?
I know someone walked out of Bohemian Rhapsody when I was working it, and they were like, "Man, like I had to escape because like it's almost like a gay porno in there." It's just some like 40-year-old Mexican dude.
The hyper fragile masculinity where it's like, if I see something gay, then like that might make me gay.
It just reminds me of that meme. Stop sending me pictures of black guys kissing. Stop it! It's turning me on. Stop.
I'd forgotten about that one.
Oh man.
The internet
you know what's like
undefeated.
Honestly, you know what's like a decent guilty pleasure of mine? Some of that 90s Euro dance.
Oh, that's
like,
not even guilty pleasure. Some of that stuff is just straight bangers.
Like the freaking was it the Boom Boom song?
Mm-hmm. The one from that genre is the "Be My Lover" by, I think it's like LaBouche or something. I never know how to say it, but the la da 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 da. I wanna be my love. I wanna be my love.
Okay, yeah, it sounds familiar. Or
I love that song.
There's that one that goes around the wood like la 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 la.
Oh yeah.
It goes, that one kind of slaps. Not gonna lie.
Or one, it's a meme song at this point, but still slaps. Sandstorm.
Darude Sandstorm. I remember when I first heard it, and I was like, huh. That was my intro to like techno music.
Like I know at this point it's become a meme, but that's a good song.
Mm-hmm. I know I've mentioned before, but like all of Harry Styles' like singular or solo put out has actually been really good in my opinion.
Yeah, my wife likes it, and it's really not bad.
Like
I was expecting to hate it, and
it is like a fantastic song, just in general.
No problems with it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, like, and like I didn't really like any of the other solo outfits that much. Like I thought Zayn made incredibly boring music.
I honestly forgot he existed as a person. Like at this point,
he was like really big for like the next like 3-4 years after, but then like
because he was the hot one.
He was the bad boy. I assume people thought he was the bad boy in Europe because he was brown. But
I think same thing here in America. Except in San Antonio, then it was just we have such a large Hispanic population that they all liked him because he was the only one
that was
remotely.
Kind of brown.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, he's basically one. I know he's not, but he's basically one of us.
He's not white.
He's not white, and that's what matters.
My little sister was super into One Direction when they were big for a little bit, and she had a crush on what was it, Niall? I think whatever the whitest one was.
That was the blonde one, right?
Yeah. She was in love with him for a little bit. I gotta bring that up to her soon just to see what she says.
Remember when they were on an episode of iCarly and like they were acting?
Dad, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to watch iCarly a lot, but I remember
old Nick shows weren't bad.
They were pretty good, and then you find out things about the creator, but I guess we won't get into that. Yeah. But like I remember the advertising was like, see One Direction on iCarly, see their first ever acting, and I was like, they're not good.
It's so funny to me that they had that, because didn't Nickelodeon make Big Time Rush to basically just be their One Direction?
Pretty much, that's what it seems like. Not gonna lie though, that's another one. A lot of Big Time Rush songs kind of slap still.
We went to high school with the guy. I won't say his name so we don't have to bleep it out, but I remember I couldn't tell if it was just for the meme or if he legitimately was like a super fan, because he bought tickets to go see him when they played at the rodeo and stuff.
Oh my god, they were just in Austin, and one of my friends from school went to go see them, and like I kind of wish I would have went to go see them.
Just live music in general, I'll go see pretty much any genre.
Yeah, like especially because like on my first phone I had a lot of Big Time Rush songs.
I get why people would like it though. It's kind of easy, turn your brain off, happy music.
Yeah, and it just makes you think of the show too, which actually wasn't too bad. Did you know though, Scott Fellows, he made Big Time Rush, also made Johnny Test.
I did not. I don't think I ever would have put that together.
Yeah, I only put that together because, I read the names, and then also Johnny Test had sound effects every 5 minutes, or not even every minute, and then
it was constant.
And then I think Big Time Rush did the same thing. The whip crack sound.
That's just that guy's style, I guess.
Have you seen the video where like someone places a whip crack over like every syllable of someone talking on an episode of Johnny Test?
And the sad thing is, like, obviously it's fake, but you could see if they like actually did that for an episode, kind of being like just super meta humor with it, just like they know they do that, so they go.
It wasn't
I
too
could
far
see
off.
him doing that.
Oh man, that was not a good show.
It's how did it last as long as it did? Honestly,
It had a good few seasons.
You remember there was a show. This isn't music related, but it was just like shows that died. It was on Cartoon Network. It was called Robotomy.
I do remember Robotomy. I never watched it, but I remember when it premiered.
It was on for like 3 months, and then they just completely abandoned it. Like, I had forgot it existed for years until I saw a YouTube video of like forgotten TV shows. I was like, oh yeah, that existed. It was by the guy that made Super Jail.
Really? They let him make a kids show?
Yeah, and if you watch it, like the clips I've seen, it really is just Super Jail for children, because it's still like super violent and weird, but it's robots, so they can get away with it.
So it's okay. It's like how in movies, like if you fight aliens and they bleed green or blue, it's fine. It's PG-13.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, the MPA doesn't make any sense, but that's another rant for another day.
Back to, I'll say another one of my guilty pleasures is angsty 90s girls, specifically Alanis Morissette.
Oh, she's the one who made I know I have an Alanis Morissette on here.
She did Ironic. She did.
Oh, isn't that ironic?
Yeah, that whole album is called Jagged Little Pill. I listen to that album all the time. It's so good.
You know, I just realized I have the song twice on my playlist. I like it that much.
It's like I said, if you like that song, I do legitimately think you should listen to the whole album, because there's like 5 #1 hits on it.
Really? I might have to, because Alanis Morissette's like a big name for the 90s.
It's just super angsty, sad girl, but it's good.
Yeah. No, a lot of that like 90s pop or like angst it still holds up today, I'm not gonna lie. Like
I think especially it does seem now that the 90s are really coming back. Like, I know everything goes in waves.
Well, because for a while it was like 80s, and then now it's finally circling.
I see all these kids wearing like flannels, listening to Nirvana and stuff, and it's like, oh god.
Yeah. We have Batman to thank for that.
Yeah, honestly, that was a big, like, there were kids listening to it before that, but that one was a big hitter in that. Yeah, I remember a lot of people in our high school, like, I saw so many Nirvana shirts. And I think, I mean, just the smiley face, like, it appeals to like that teen angst very, very much. Just like the Misfits logo that I guess, I don't know if half the people knew what a Misfit was. Oh yeah, I don't think 95% of people that wear Misfit shirts actually listen to the Misfits. Oh my god, I love this brand. They make such cool shirts. But I mean, I can't get mad at it, because I know there are kids that would go listen to them because they bought a shirt and end up liking them. So if that's somebody's gateway, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's how I feel about, like, because people will consider some music like sold out or like watered down versions of another genre. But I'll be like, if it gets them into like say someone listens to Machine Gun Kelly and then they somehow find out, they keep going down the rabbit hole and they find like Descendants and stuff like that. Like yeah, can't be mad. Like, you know, can't be mad at that. Everybody's like, I know my foray into the music I like they're one of the biggest, although everybody still respects them, but Iron Maiden, they're one of those, I think, few bands that made it to the point with like big mainstream success without getting accused of selling out. Yeah. Like, of course, everybody, I don't know, was that before like everyone started calling everyone who made a hit album a sellout? No, I mean, that's been going on for basically for forever. Yeah, I guess so. Now it's just more, you see it more now that we have the internet, I guess. But yeah, the first big like metal band like that, I think, was probably Metallica, that everybody was like sellouts. Yeah. Which again, as an angsty teen, I was all pissed about. I was like, I can't believe they gave up on like thrash. But now I get it. Like, I don't like their later stuff, but
they just
made
changed
a fuck ton of money.
They did. And then like they're very self-aware cuz like I saw like a video. Do you watch there's a guy on YouTube, his name is The Punk Rock MBA.
I've seen a few of his videos.
Yeah, he did one on Metallica, and like he showed like clips from that documentary that they did, and they seem very like self-aware about some of their mistakes. Like they admitted like the Napster thing. They're like, yeah, we could have handled that a lot better.
Yeah, and I think too at the time though it really was new ground. They didn't know how to deal with something like that.
They didn't know it would set like a legal precedent.
Yeah, and Lars is always just kind of a dick. So
yeah.
Or
so
like that's my dad is not one to really curse all too much, but he was like, you know, ever since like I started listening to Metallica in the 80s, like Lars was always just kind of a douche. I was like, okay, that makes
That's funny. Yeah, I am the table.
Oh God. The way to trigger an entire fan base in one little sentence.
Bro, I watched a Todd in the Shadows video. For those who don't know, Todd in the Shadows is like a music reviewer, and he does like this series called Train Records, where he talks about a certain record that like ruined a band's image. And he covered it was a Metallica album that like everyone hated, and I'm trying to remember what
was it. Saint Anger?
It was Saint Anger. That's the one with the really crappy drums, right?
Yep. That sounds like garbage cans.
Yes, and I was like, who thought this was a good idea?
They were trying to strip it down and make it sound like a garage band.
No, they sounded like they were playing in the garage for sure.
Yeah, I get the angle they were going for. They're like, we've become too like we want to make something angry and raw again. And I think it was a necessary album because the ones after that have actually been pretty good. But that album itself is not held up.
Yeah, just the sound of it. Just, I mean, how many times has a band been like, we're gonna take it back to our roots and make a raw album? How many times has it ended up good?
Not too many.
There's probably a few.
Like, in a weird way, Metallica did actually end up doing that with Death Magnetic, where they went back to a more it's still a little more commercial sounding, but definitely way more thrash influenced than anything they've released in like 20 years. I'm gonna have to check. And that was kind of a back to their roots.
Yeah, it just makes me think of like when the Clash released like Cut the Crap, and like it was just horrible, just this horrible album.
I'm gonna say that one's not a guilty pleasure. That is an opinion that I have that nobody else seems to agree with. As much as I love old punk, most of it I cannot get into the Clash.
Really? I feel like you told me this before. Like you're not a Clash fan.
Like I'll listen to the Ramones, I'll listen to like the Stooges, the Sex Pistols, the Damned, like pretty much all that like early punk stuff. I can't do the Clash.
I can understand, but I'll like for me, like Train in Vain and like London Calling are.
I will say, Train in Vain I have a soft spot for just because when I was like 13 or 14 and I watched a skateboard video called Almost Round 3, which had my favorite skater in it, and his name's Rodney Mullen. He uses that song for his video part.
Yeah,
so
it's a good song.
I'll always, it's catchy.
But yeah, I can understand why. Like, I can understand. They're very. First off, not a great singer.
But like we were going though, most old punk dudes couldn't sing worth a shit.
Yeah, it's just more like the attitude and like the instrumentation that you listen to. There's a lot there's a lot of punk guitarists and drummers that are really good.
Yeah, they're definitely a band I should like. I don't for some reason.
No, I get that. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that grew up around when we grew up love like Slipknot and like Korn, and
Disturbed.
I just never got into them. Although I will say Disturbed's cover "Sound of Silence" do enjoy.
That one's I think probably the best thing they ever released.
Oh come on, you don't like a ooh.
It's fun to make fun of during karaoke.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I never got into like that part of nu metal. I did like Linkin Park. That was my first band that I ever got into. but like I could never get into Korn really.
Yeah, I was never a Korn guy. Although doing the "Are you ready?" is very entertaining.
Or the
But yeah, just the new metal in general. Honestly, I rather listen to the super shitty commercial like Limp Bizkit stuff than the ones that actually invented the genre, like Korn.
Yeah. Like I feel like Papa Roach is just more like fun. Like,
yeah, no, I could see that.
Like all the people that watched a lot of like wrestling, you know, and wore like tap out shirts.
That's their music.
Yeah,
and I love though. I don't know if you've noticed, Limp Bizkit is having a bit of a resurgence in like a meme way where everybody's like suddenly like they love Limp Bizkit again.
It goes in and out, man. Like people loved them, and then they're like, "No, this is the worst thing to happen to music." And people are starting to love them again.
Yeah, no, especially with Fred Durst with his fucking Fu Manchu and his all white hair. Like he looks like a dad now.
It's like when My Chemical Romance came back. The dude straight up, he doesn't look emo anymore. He just looks like a dad.
You know,
they all look like dads.
It looks like the group of dads at like a neighborhood barbecue that's like, oh, we used to play sometimes. Like, let's break the instruments out.
And then they play, and they're like some of the most influential emo music
of all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those tickets, my wife wanted to go see them. If just the two of us went for like nosebleeds, was going to be like $600.
Yeah, no, it's insane. But like, I mean, whether you like it or not, yeah, it was very influential.
Oh yeah, no, they were. It's not exactly my scene, but I get the appeal to especially like 14, 15-year-olds. Like it.
I'm not okay.
And sometimes that's just what a kid wants to. It's like it's okay to not be okay.
It's okay. He lied. She lied, and he shitted.
Oh, those always crack me a piece of beef.
There's one where they highlighted all the E's, and it said E, and it was just a picture of a dolphin. Oh man, you know, My Chemical Romance actually did a pretty good cover of Astro Zombies by the Misfits.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah,
for American Wasteland.
Yeah, for Don't Ask American Wasteland. It's actually pretty. I was like, dang, this is they do it really well.
There were actually quite a few good covers on that.
Dude, that like half my. I think I have like almost the whole album on my phone.
Like, and I think Senses Fail covered Suicidal Tendencies,
and
then
Rise Against did. I think they did one of them. I'm gonna have to go to my Tony Hawk playlist.
God, I don't remember which band it was, but there was a band from like that generation that covered the Stooges' "Search and Destroy."
Oh, that was the Emmanuel?
Yes. And I remember I loved that song as a kid. I didn't realize it was a Stooges song. I just knew the cover from the video game. Until one day I heard the real version. I was like, wait a second.
Like,
what is this?
Wait a minute. Yeah, Rise Against did a cover of Black Flag.
Yeah.
Taking Back Sunday did Descendants. They did like a mashup of Suburban Home and I Like Food.
Their cover was actually pretty good too. That might have been my favorite cover on that album.
Yeah, it's really good. I like Alkaline Trio's cover of Wash Away by who originally sang it? TSOL or
yeah.
I don't know how people call it.
True Sounds of Liberty.
Really? Okay. I have a few TSOL songs on my playlist. Just they're pretty good.
You know, they're out of the like those old like hardcore bands. They're one of the ones that I've listened to the least, and it's not because I don't like them. I just always forget they exist.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know they exist until I was like, who did the original one? And I was like, oh. And then I was looking for because I was doing a music appreciation project for one of my classes, and I was looking for songs about politics. And they have a song called American. And it's it's talking about like, you know, politics and stuff like that.
Should have done Franco on American.
That sounds familiar.
No Effects.
Yeah, I think I've heard that one before.
That one's a good. It's definitely one of their popular songs, but it's catchy.
I'm gonna have to listen to that when we're done here, because now that I don't think I've heard that one.
It's on War on Errorism.
Okay.
which is weird. It's one of their later, not later, but that one was released in the early 2000s. But it's probably my favorite album of theirs.
Mm. You know what band I can't get enough of? The Offspring. Every time I hear The Offspring, it just puts a smile on my face.
It's weird because I really only like the big radio hits that they have. But they're all so catchy and fun.
Yeah, like I know like Pretty Fly for a White Guy is probably like pretty memed at this point, but like it just puts a smile on my face every time I hear it.
That one's, or I love The Kids Aren't All Right.
Dude, that's just legitimately a great song.
It really is.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it, I just I'll put it on repeat for like 3 or 4 plays and just listen to it multiple times in a row.
It makes me think of like, I guess it just makes me think of being young.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I like it so much. It takes me back to a better time.
Are we old heads?
I definitely, there have been periods in my life where it's like, no, only the old stuff is good. But I've tried to be more open-minded.
Yeah, in terms of like hip hop, I've diversified a little bit. Like I'll listen to like some of like the newer artists. Like some of them might not be great, but like there's like Stir Fry by Migos is just great.
What is it? Kamar showed me they have a Taco Tuesday.
Oh, is that any good?
It's it's the goofiest. It's literally them just rapping about how it's Taco Tuesday. And it's so stupid, but I absolutely love it because it's so silly.
Yeah, like some of the quote unquote like mumble rap, like some of it's not bad. Like Travis Scott, like I can get down with some Travis Scott.
But yeah, no, it's his music I could get down to. Him as a person, I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, no, because I don't want to get down at one of his concerts, if you know what I'm saying.
God, yeah.
Yeah, like there's some artists I just straight up will not tolerate. Like if you throw on Little Pump when we're in the car together, I might have to commit some sort of vehicular manslaughter. But
my favorite is have you listened to the Cream Crew podcast?
I have not.
Yeah, it's Meat Canyon and Flash Gits.
That sounds great because that sounds like something I need to listen to. It
is hysterical. There's one episode though where the Meat Canyon guy's talking about I think Lil Peep, and he's like joking about it. Some of his friends were like, "Lil Peep was a genius, man. Like I can't believe he's dead." And then he was just like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what do you?" And then one of his friends, to piss him off, goes, "Yeah, well, like R.I.P. Dimebag, right? R.I.P. Dimebag, brother." And then Meat Canyon just is like, "He was shot in the face."
Jesus Christ.
He's like, "It's different."
Hey, yo, I remember one time at work, there was a kid with a fucking, with a Little Peep shirt on. And, like, I was like, oh, man, like, he died, right? And the guy was like, yeah. And I was like, damn, rest in Peep. And, like...
I pictured him being buried instead of a coffin. It's literally a fucking giant marshmallow
just
peep
a giant
that they stuff him into.
They stuff it in the ground, and then he melts because it's so hot. It melts, and he's just a body buried underground.
And he's all sticky because of all the sugar.
Someone tries to grave rob him to get some like money for his organs. They're like, what's going on? Why is there pink sugar all over him? Why are his organs submerged in marshmallow?
It perfectly preserves him.
It's somehow the chemicals, and it brings him back to life.
He's got marshmallow eyes, though. Everything else about him is the same. He just got marshmallows for eyes.
It's just straight pink eyes. His eyes are pink now. You know, speaking of like SoundCloud rap, I actually have a soft spot for Xxxtentacion.
Yeah, I could never get into his rap, and then when I found out how bad of a person he was, it just completely. I was like, yeah, I can't.
To be fair though, like towards the end of his life, he was trying to get better. Like I know he was doing like a lot of like therapy. I don't know about therapy, but like he was doing like a lot of charity work and like trying to like make himself like a better person. And then he got shot.
I mean,
and then he got shot.
Good for him for trying to better himself, but Yeah, that was
I
some of
think
the stories I heard about like the abuse of his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know it was like domestic violence shit and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's not good. That's really
and
bad,
it wasn't just like your normal domestic violence, which is already bad enough.
Just wasn't like, your garden variety domestic violence.
It wasn't getting a couple Budweisers deep and slapping her. Like
it was like he beat the crap out of her, right?
And he was threatening her with like the poker for the fireplace. He said he was going to shove it up her vagina and stuff.
Oh my God. Hey, you remember when Chris Brown straight up like killed Rihanna?
And then that's does not get talked about.
Yeah, like at first, because like I remember hearing about it as a young person. Like I'm not for like cancel culture. It's like whatever. Like it happened like forever ago. But like I just remember hearing about it, and I was like, oh, like I thought he just like smacked her and like the news like blew it up or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, like he he did a smack or two. But then I saw the pictures.
Yeah, no,
I was like, this
beat the fuck out of her.
This man straight up made her face look like a red gummy, like a chamoy gummy bear.
Yeah, it like was. And everybody still just loves him.
Yeah, like, and I think he just did like community service or something.
Yeah, that is.
Like, I'm not laughing because she got beat, but it's just like the situation is just like, huh.
And the fact that I guess it was so long ago that like it was before like cancel culture was really a thing. But that is one that I could actually like, if cancel culture canceled him, I'd be like, took anyone,
yeah,
like he kind of deserves it.
Yeah, no, I was like, the only time I'm against it is when it's like jokes, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, comedy is subjective. Like not everything. Sometimes offensive stuff's gonna get said, and that's just
or even just like really stupid comments made by people. I'm like, yeah, that was dumb, but like, I mean, what do you want them to be homeless or something? Like, what do you want?
Yeah, or like what director was it that they went back like 10 years and found some cringy old like
James
humor
Gunn.
tweets?
Yeah. That was stupid because like that, see, that's the part that gets me too, because like it was the conservatives and stuff that were trying to cancel him, and they're the ones normally complaining about cancel culture and free speech and all this stuff, but like,
oh, it's everything they do is projection onto, like everything they do they accuse the left of doing, and saying why it's so evil.
Why is it okay when they do it, huh? If I take my wife to the Kid Rock show and then she divorces me, why is it okay when the left does it?
It's the left are like all the like they're all pedophiles and rapists, and then every politician that gets arrested for like sex with minors are always Republican.
It's that not Roy Moore. Was it Roy Moore? Roy Moore or one of those guys.
Or like all the gay, like they're pushing the gay agenda.
Yeah, and then, dude, that's the craziest one. Is like the anti-gay politicians always get caught throating some cock.
Always.
It's just like you can't make this stuff up.
No, it's because they're so insecure about themselves that they have to be like, well, nobody will suspect I'm gay if I say how much I hate gay dudes.
It's like the satirical news site The Onion doesn't really have a purpose anymore because the real headlines.
The only stuff The Onion is good for now is like they can't do politics stuff anymore. It's all got to be like entertainment and sports.
Yeah, because like real headlines about politics are just funny.
It's gotten like when what was his name, Anthony Weiner, when he was having all his stuff.
What was those
headlines
screen?
Were the best.
His screen name, it was something stupid. It was man, I can't remember, but yeah, I remember when all that was going down, and it's like Weiner gets hard. I'm like, huh?
Yep. They were having a field day.
Like those news editors had like a blast.
And speaking of The Onion, I'll still say my all-time favorite Onion headline is still T-Ball T pitches perfect game at the Special Olympics. No. It's so fucked up, but it's so funny.
That's a good one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
Like, it's so in bad taste, but at the same time...
You know, I mean, why have The Onion though when we have the Babylon Bee, Colton? Oh. We don't need the Babylon Bee is funny. It's funny.
So many of my family. That's why I don't think I deactivated my Facebook. I just forgot my password, so I haven't been on it in like 6 months.
Yeah, that funny article where they were like, gay man is gay, and like that's funny because he's gay.
I don't miss it at all because I had so many people just where we grew up is so right-leaning that would post all their stuff like unironically. And
then some people wouldn't know that it's satire.
That makes it funny though. When they post it thinking it's real, then I'm like, oh, okay, then now it's looped back around to being funny.
Yeah. There's this theory, this political theory. I guess it'll probably be one of the last things before we get into questions. There's a political theory known as horseshoe theory. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, that the far left and the far right are actually closer together than the center.
And the more time passes, the more I start to see it. You know,
it's weird. Like there's one sketch that I love. It's some like YouTube comedian, but it's like racist versus woke and how they're actually best friends.
I loved that one.
Racial identity is the most important thing to a person.
He's like, oh my god, it's like you're reading my mind. Yeah. No, and just like how like a few years ago you would see like people on the left, they'd be like, oh, everyone's a Nazi. It's like this person's a Nazi. And now like everyone's calling like Joe Biden a Nazi for some reason.
Yeah, it was because that one where he's like
the Dark Brandon
Republicans. Oh, I love Dark Brandon.
But
now suddenly all the Republicans are like, he used red imagery. He's a Nazi.
They're like, look, he lifted his arm slightly. So did Hitler. It's like, what?
It's to live in the minds of one of them for a day would be very entertaining. I don't know if it'd be worth the therapy though.
You would definitely. No, I wouldn't even say it'd be fun. It would be interesting.
Yeah, just to see. Yeah. Like to really think about like especially like my mom. If I lived in her brain for a day where she was into the QAnon and all that, I would want to know what it's like to actually believe all that.
The QAnon. Yeah. But anyway, Joe Biden is my most underrated musical artist, guilty pleasure.
That's fair. Yeah, this one kind of went off topic real far.
Yeah.
But it's been a fun conversation.
We got a good amount of like musical guilty pleasures out there.
Like I'm trying to think before like question stuff if I have any more like big like I will say Higher has become unironically like
can you take
I've made it my goal to make it my most played song of the year in the last few months, so I've just had it on repeat all the time.
Yeah. No, I mean some of that like cuz like 2010 when I was angsty, I'd be like all that trashy 2000s pop garbage, all that trashy 2000s rap garbage. But now I listen to it like if you play the Whisper song, not the Whisper song, if you play Yin Yang Twins Whisper, I don't know what it's called. I will
Derek's gonna throw some ass.
I'll be like yeah, or like if you play like some really like she looked at her, she looked at me, and this is the story of a girl. Like if you play stuff like that
one's catchy.
I will be on the dance floor. If you play Shake It by Metro Station, I am on the dance floor.
Man, the only time I've ever actually like, I'm going to say danced very loosely because it's not really dancing, but like obviously like metal and punk shows I'll mosh. But when I went and saw the Third Rates not too long ago, their ska band, I skanked the fuck out and it was so much fun.
What is the skank dance?
It's where you swing your one, like say your left foot, right foot at the same time, and it's like a little hop step dance. They do it at a bunch of ska shows.
Yeah, I think I'm picturing in my mind. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was so much fun though. And then the dude, we were actually talking to him after the did I tell you about that, by the way?
I don't know if you did.
So do you know who Spaz Kid is?
It sounds familiar.
He was an old Newgrounds animator. He's done stuff on YouTube. He was part of the Sleepy Cabin. He's on Oni Plays a lot. His name's Corey.
I've heard I've heard the name before.
But yeah, he's got a ska band called the Third Rates, which they're very.
And you went to go see them.
Check them out. What's up?
You went to go see them?
Yeah. They played here in San Antonio, and it was like a tiny show. Like 50 people, including the other bands that played, were there. So we got to meet everybody.
So you got to meet Spaz Kid.
Yeah, we were talking to him. I talked to him about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Was he a cool guy?
Oh, he was super cool. He was telling me too that after the set was over, he came up because we talked to him before the show, and then after his set was over, he came and was talking to us again. He's like, thanked us for like dancing to the music and stuff. He's like, that really like inspires the band to see that. We're like, oh, of course, it was like fun as shit. He's like, yeah, I know we were talking about Sonic earlier, and I just wanted to tell you that we almost played City Escape.
Oh,
and he's like, but we couldn't get the horn section quite figured out yet. But we are going to be recording a studio version of it soon, so keep an eye out. And I was like,
that's sick.
Fuck yes, a ska version of Escape from the City.
Dude, I have Crush 40. It's not Crush 40, but still, I have a lot of Crush 40 on my Spotify.
Well, I mean, Crush 40 is the one that did Escape from the City.
I thought it was a different artist.
No, that was because it's the dude. They do all the Sonic like adventure, like the main themes and all that. That's them.
Yeah. Well, because Escape from the City is Ted Poley and Tony Harnell.
Yeah, that's the dudes from Crush 40. They're just credited as because it's just two guys. They're just credited.
Well, because the guy from Crush 40, his name is John Gioli, I think.
Is it? I thought it was I'll have to look into that then.
Let's see. Yeah. Jin Sinu, I don't know who that is, and John Gioli, he's the singer.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it was two different artists, but they sound similar for sure.
But
I have
that
so
song
much
is so much fun,
dude. That song, and then I have so much like His World by Crush 40. Mm-hmm. I literally play that while I'm on the treadmill.
What do you think is the best Sonic theme?
His World has a special place in my heart because that was one of the first songs I heard when I was like 13, and it got me into like the genre of music that I'm into now, like sort of like that pop punk. But like His World is by Zebrahead. I just realized that. It's one of the guys from Zebrahead.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, it's the rapper dude, and it's what they do sometimes, or what they used to is they would grab people from like different bands and like put them together. Yeah, Ali Tatabase from that's the rapper from Zebrahead.
Okay.
And then Matty Lewis, where's he from? Oh, he was okay. So it was Zebrahead. Yeah. Okay, so it was the two dudes from Zebrahead. They're just credited by their names, which is weird. Yeah.
So I think I got to go Live and Learn.
Live and Learn is, dude. Oh my god, Live and Learn.
It's such just like it brings me back to being like 8 years old,
playing Sonic Adventure, or even just like from the first Sonic Adventure, Open Your Heart.
Oh yeah. There's such butt rock, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, they're more like shake your butt rock because I will be shaking to that song.
Shaking ass.
Yeah, I'll be throwing it back for some Crush 40.
You know that'll be my my final guilty pleasures. Any of the like Sonic Adventure music. In the Shadow of the Hedgehog.
Oh, dude, the Shadow. It's so edgy, but I love it. I see no, hear no evil. Black writings on the wall.
On the wall.
I need a million faces, and one by one they fall.
It's so bad, but at the same time, like,
and
you
then
just have to love it.
The Sonic Heroes one.
Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes. We'll show them the true power of friendship.
My Little Pony before My Little Pony.
Oh,
yeah, you want to go ahead, jump into questions now?
Alrighty, gang. This is the part of the podcast where we'll be jumping into some questions submitted by you lovely people.
Slime.
I put people in quotes.
AKA slime.
AKA slime. Where's the pictures of Spider-Man, you slime?
Slime is like my favorite. I know it's become like an actual thing that people say to greet each other, like, what up, slime?
What up, slime?
But it's also just a great insult.
You slime. You know what's been a really good one for me? Rat Bastard. That one always cracks me up.
Rat Bastard is a great one.
That one cracks me up. All right. And so you can submit questions to me via Instagram or Twitter at HuggerDerek. Usually I'll put a call out, but if you want to just send one, and I'll have a stockpile, just like I have a stockpile of
AR-15s.
Yeah. I mean, no.
It's legal, Derek. You can have them.
No.
I mean, it is legal if you want to have like 30 AR-15s.
We are in the great state of Texas. Well, I know
people that have like that many AR-15s, and I'm like, why?
The only stockpile I have is e-girls on my TikTok.
You gotta stay strapped.
gotta keep that thing on me. But yeah, so, and if you know Colton in real life, you could find the HEB he works at. It's a different one now.
It
so
is.
You'll have to do a little more digging.
Shithole Lavernia.
That's right. Colton, he moved. He now lives back in the good old city of San Antonio.
Technically shirts, but
close enough. Shirts, but close enough. You could just find him and throw a cucumber at him and ask him a question.
Throw it right into my mouth. If you make it, it's like a carnival game. I'll give you free. I'll pay for your basket of groceries.
I will. I will give you free head if you make it into my. I will blow you.
Different directions, but okay.
Our first question comes from Instagram. At Ruben is the BITW asks, what song is very annoying and very popular that you enjoy? What about one that you don't enjoy? Ooh, what song is really, really, really popular?
Don't enjoy. I mean, it's not as popular anymore, but it was huge for a while, and it was the most annoying song in the world, and I fucking hated it. Was that Rude song?
Why you gotta be so... My brother for whatever reason, got really into that band.
That song made me
be so rude.
Want to commit just like the most atrocious crimes in humanity. Like, it was so bad.
Yeah, it was like ska if you ran it through a Brita filter like 70 times.
It just... it was bad. It was just bad and annoying, and I don't know how it was popular.
Yeah, I don't know either. It just kind of appeared, and then they just kind of disappeared.
Like, I'm trying to think of annoying songs that I like.
A few years ago, there was that Dance Monkey song, and I hated it. Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Oh.
That one was very annoying as well.
Horrible, the worst.
But what is annoying that I like? I've looped back around. Buddy Holly is annoying as shit. The song by Weezer, but I kind of like it again. Like, I've been Weezered so many times. Oh, Derek's dying. I've been Weezered so many times that I think been like Pavlov dogged into enjoying it again.
I've been Weezered.
I mean, have you not been Weezered?
You've just got Weezered. I've been Weezered, but because they did a cover on the Frozen 2 soundtrack. That definitely Weezered me.
Bro, the thing that Weezered me the most out of any Weezering I've received is they covered Inner Sandman for the Black Album's like 25th anniversary or whatever it was.
The Weezering?
Yeah, so they covered Inner Sandman, and I don't like Inner Sandman, but I listened to it because I was like, it's Weezer doing Inner Sandman, like, I have to hear this. They throw the fucking into the middle of the solo. I got Weezered by listening to Weezer without knowing I was going to get Weezered.
Man, so that's like a surprise Weezering, which is okay because
Weezerception.
Yeah, they yelled surprise, so the Weezering was all right.
Yeah, that'll be my annoying song that I do like again.
And so yeah, the date went well. We went out to dinner, we saw a movie, got a few drinks, and I took her home, and I just gave her the Weezering of her life. And then she never called back. She never called back, so I don't know what to tell you.
Weezer is kind of incel the band, but
there's this like genre called male manipulator music. I've seen like memes about it.
The Smiths.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of these bands I actually really like.
Are you a male manipulator, Derek?
Listen, I'm not saying I gaslight people. What I am saying is I never said that. No, you're just crazy. I never said that.
It's like the Smiths, Morrissey when he went solo.
I think Radiohead was on there. I do like the Smiths and Radiohead. That's about it.
There's a couple others I've seen. The one I'm surprised isn't on there because it kind of fits it, but I guess no, it doesn't, because to be a male manipulator, you have to be able to get girls. I was gonna say Tool, But
I've never met a Tool fan that that had a woman.
like a diehard Tool fan. Like I enjoy Tool. I like Tool a lot, but I'm not like one of the dudes who identifies as a Tool fan.
That's not your gender?
Yeah, that's. But you know the guys I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm looking at a picture. It has a lot of Radiohead. It has Tyler the Creator. Interesting.
Old or new?
New from
Okay.
yeah, the most recent album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see it.
I see Joji.
I also see that.
Yeah. I see Arctic Monkeys. That's okay.
Eric,
Gorillas.
I think you're a male manipulator.
Gorillas. Yeezus. That's a good album, but like, dang. I'm sorry. I'll do better. I'll ramp up my my woman love, my feminist love by listening to some Drew Afuelo on TikTok.
You got to listen to "Strokin'" by Clarence Carter.
Okay.
The greatest song of all time.
You know, I looked up.
I'd be stroking.
I looked at female manipulator music, and I wanted to see what was on there.
Phoebe Bridgers.
I don't know who that is.
All the bisexual girls love her.
I might have to get into this then. I'm not finding a lot, but we will find. We will know. If you're a female manipulator, we will find you, and we will try to date you and try to fix you.
I will make better.
Okay. Well, I can't really think of one that I like, so we'll just have to put a pin in that one.
That works.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. At Jackery on Instagram. Oh, he asks, will the Arctic Monkeys be considered one of the best bands of the 21st century?
No.
I guess. Do you not like them?
Oh, I don't think they're bad, but I don't think they're going to go down as like
the best.
One of the premier. Like when people look back, like when you think of the 70s, you think of like Led Zeppelin, stuff like that. You're not going to go back and think of the Arctic Monkeys for that.
They are known as one of the first bands that got big through the internet, so I guess they'll be remembered for that.
They're influential, yes, but I don't think they've. In like 50 years, people are going to look back and be like, yeah, the Arctic Monkeys were the band of the time.
That was it. I do like them, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Although, I want to
actually like music nerds will know them, but it's not going to be in the like mainstream culture.
Bunch of nerds, bunch of Anthony Fantanos out there.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, do you see that stuff that happened with him and Drake?
Yes.
It's like, why even like.
I love too that Drake basically doxed himself because didn't Fantano put out the like he photoshopped it to be something else, and then Drake's like, no, this isn't what I said. This is what I said.
Yeah,
like,
because he photoshopped it to be a vegan cookie recipe.
Yeah, and then Drake's like, no, I told him he fucking sucks.
He did say his
existence even more. A light one.
Yeah, Drake said his existence is a light one. That's good, but like, I think the fact that Fantano just didn't respond makes it even better.
Yeah, it just made Drake look even shittier than like I already didn't like him.
Yeah,
and that just solidifies.
Yeah. Well, going back to Arctic Monkeys, Do I Want to Know? Great song.
Do you want to know?
Do I want to know? Fantastic.
That is an iconic guitar riff. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, it's a great. I think that's one of the first ones I heard by them. So, yeah, but they'll be looked at as a band that existed for sure.
I mean, they'll be looked back like fondly, like they were a good band.
They were definitely one of the bands of the.
They did exist in this time period.
That's what I told people about Morbius. I was like, it was definitely one of the movies I saw this year.
It was a movie.
It will definitely go down as one of the movies of 2022. Let's see. At chunky.avocado1, my friend Amanda writes in, said, what is your dream concert lineup? Ooh, that's a good one. It's a good question.
Oh, God.
Okay. For sure, my favorite band, Blink-182. Got to be headlining. Got to be the main attraction. I would definitely put some Childish Gambino up in there. Let's see. I would have Descendants. They would come by.
Okay, yours is very eclectic. Like, there's a lot of...
Yeah, I would try to get something from each genre that I listen to. get some Descendants, and then Daft Punk would drop in for sure. I'm trying to think. Who else I've been really into recently? I would resurrect Xxxtentacion from the dead. I would perform some necromancy and have him perform.
So you're going more like almost festival lineup.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like if I were to put together my own festival.
Okay.
Yeah. I assume that's what she's talking about, but
see, I was thinking of just like a one night concert type.
Oh,
thing.
so you have like at the most 3-4 bands.
Yeah.
If I have to go like 3-4 artists, I would say Blink-182, Childish Gambino, Descendants, and if I have to put like one more small act, I'd probably, just to mix it up and piss people off, I'd throw Hobo Johnson on there.
Yeah. That's one I've tried listening to him. I cannot get into him.
Musical guilty. I don't know if it's guilty, but it's a musical artist that I really, really like. Although I heard his most recent album kind of sucked, but his first two I really like, and I know a lot of people just don't.
So I'm trying to think for my concert. I'm doing like a 3.
Okay, like 3 artists.
Yeah, and it'll be like each artist in their prime, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say opening act, Alice in Chains, with Lane Staley still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Second act would be like prime Iron Maiden, like 1985 Iron Maiden, and then like headliner would be the classic Sabbath lineup.
Okay,
like 1972, 73 Black Sabbath.
That's yeah for sure. That sounds like a really good lineup.
Dream
actually.
Concert.
That's a really good lineup.
I think that would be fun.
And then we add No Doubt, of course.
Oh, absolutely. I'd want to throw Sleep in there too, but I've seen Iron Maiden live as well. But they're such a fun stage show that I wouldn't mind seeing them again. And even though Sleep is like one of my all-time favorite bands.
When you say Sleep, I just think of the band Ghost and about how they're Scooby-Doo music.
My wife I made the mistake of showing her Ghost, and that is the main thing she listens to now.
Oh, that's romantic.
It's so weird to me though, because I started listening to Ghost right after their first album came out, when they were still like a proto doom metal sounding, like they were pretty like actually metal.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've morphed into something completely different that like all the 17-year-old goth girls listen to.
They're just that. A lot of people know them as just that Scooby-Doo band because there's the one song that sounds like Scooby-Doo chase music.
Because they went from a band that like 40-year-old metalheads listened to and was like, oh, this is pretty cool, to like...
That is a shift in demographic for sure, like a big one too.
And I'll say that their sound didn't even change that, but they definitely got more pop-oriented. They went from like a 70s, like early doom sound to like a more 80s ballady sound.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess there is kind of a lack of in music right now, that like 80s glam metal type.
Yeah, the last thing I heard from them from that genre was it called The Darkness? Where do you believe in a thing called love?
Oh yeah.
That's a great song.
I love that. I will say I like that song.
Yeah. Let's see. Next question on Instagram @Marie_Alex writes in. She's a coworker of mine. She writes in, do you have a sex playlist? And if so, what's one song that's on there? I don't, but if I could, it would be, it seems like a very basic answer, but Seabat by Hudson Mohawk. No, I'm just kidding. Get You by Daniel Caesar and Kali Uchis. Have you heard that one, Colton?
Yes. I could see that. See, I have a joke sex playlist that I made that's called Songs to Eat Girls Out To, and it's just All Star by Smash Mouth 30
I think
times.
you sent that one to me. And you were like...
I don't really have any playlists. We'll just put on albums sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
I really don't... I don't know if I like listening to music while I do that.
Like, I don't... It's kind of nice, like, background. Like, one of the first album that we had sex to was real early on.
Me and you, Colton?
Yes, us. Yeah. No, me and my wife.
You're reminiscing about our past.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, my wife, it was pretty early on in our dating, and we were about to do the do. She's like, "You mind if I put on an album?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, go for it." Like, I wouldn't mind some music. She put on "Ride the Lightning" by Metallica.
Huh.
And I remember I told a coworker that like a few days later, and he's like, "You need to marry this woman because you're never gonna find another one that'll be willing to do that, and not just willing, but like it'll be her idea." And I was like, yeah, you're right.
She's like
we're married.
She's like the golden not the golden slipper. She's like the ruby slippers on your feet.
Yeah, honestly,
she's like the Cinderella. Oh, I was trying to think. She's like the Cinderella shoe, like the just right for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we complement each other very well.
Yeah, and then also, I know that you enjoy stepping on her, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was
without saying, no.
That was also the metaphor, yeah, for sure. But yeah, it would definitely, the one song would be the "Get You" by Kali Uchis, because that's just a sexy song.
Mm-hmm.
And then Call Out Your Name by The Weeknd, also sexy song. I will live by the words of my former college roommate. I think his name is Daniel
Peter?
or something. No, God, not Peter. His sex playlist would be like the My Little Pony theme song because he was a freaking brony. He was a brony. God. I still remember I walked in one time and I was like, I just didn't know I was
jerking off to My Little Pony porn.
Peter. No, but I walked in and like he's just watching on the computer and then he slams his computer shut. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
That makes it worse.
Yeah, I was like,
if he would have just been like, "Yeah, I hear everybody talking about the show. I figured I'd give it a little chance." Like, yeah, no. You don't think anything of it. But the fact that he closes it, like, "Hey, how's it going?
How's it going, sir?" I was like, hey, man, hey, Peter. No, my former roommate, I think his name was Daniel or something with a D. He said, "Bitches love The Weeknd," and he always throws on Weeknd when he like goes over to a girl's house.
I mean, it is good sex music, though.
Yeah. That's better than Kid Rock. That's sex music.
Throw on Ball with a Ball.
throw on the new metal remix of Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby.
Oh, God, I forgot he did the new metal album.
Vanilla Ice sucks. Can we just say that? Is that okay to say?
Yeah, that's fine. Kind of out of nowhere, just I gotta say, Vanilla Ice sucks.
I feel like Vanilla Ice ruined just being white for a while.
Yeah, he made it pretty embarrassing.
Like, my mom, she loves Ice Ice Baby.
Oh God.
But Vanilla Ice is just horrible. Like, people clown on like Mark. I'd rather listen to Marky Mark.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how much I hate Vanilla Ice. Like, I'd rather listen to Snow's Informer.
I mean, Informer's classic.
It is a classic. Oh yeah, when he said "I like you boom boom down," I felt that. But like it boom boom down. Yeah, but in terms of white rappers, or just rappers, not even just racial barriers gone. Vanilla Ice sucks.
He was just the most. He was like, how do we sell this to white people?
like
Midwestern white people who are not even necessarily like racist, like I hate black people, but just like afraid of black people.
The general white audience that is like, oh, I know a little bit of that hippity hop.
Like people who live in Kansas who just aren't exposed to black people on.
Yeah,
like, they see a black guy
just
like once
don't
a year.
know. Yeah, they just don't know anything about black anything.
Yeah, so it's like, how do we sell this to them?
Like oh my God, like I would rather listen to. I'm trying to think of the worst rappers. I feel like I'd rather listen to Lil Pump because at least it's like it sounds like everything else.
Mm-hmm. It might not be good, but it's.
Like
there's a beat to it that's fun.
I'd rather listen to Kid Rock. Rather listen to Kid Rock.
I mean, Ball with the Ball is a fun song.
Yeah, rather listen to who's like the worst rapper you could think of. Besides Vanilla Ice.
Honestly, I don't. That might be
like just the worst rapper, right?
Unless it's like those like little like homegrown dudes that get like 20 streams on SoundCloud that nobody's heard of. But like as far as like people who have somewhat made it, he might be the worst.
Yeah, he might be the worst because there's what makes it worse is that like it was in the 90s, surrounded by so much other better
Good
music,
hip hop,
like De La Soul, like Nas, like it's just like people complain now. They're like, oh, you know, hip hop is the worst. Would you rather listen to that? Like honestly and truly, would you rather listen to Ice Ice Baby and that song? The song he did for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is kind of iconic, but it still sucks.
it's just good because of the movie.
It's only good because it's related to something that's actually good. I don't know where that hatred came from, but it's there.
Yeah, it's reasonable though. Like that is a reasonable hatred.
Yeah. Go on to the net. We have like 2 more questions, so.
Okay, that's perfect.
Let's see. At Selena Marie, another coworker of mine, she asked, "Do you have a sad playlist?" Ooh, I don't have one
for a while. I don't anymore.
There are songs that I would probably rather listen to when I'm not feeling good.
It was like a breakup playlist when I was a very sad emo boy.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that because you're married now. But
no. But I'm trying to think what would like
there was like there's an Xxxtentacion song that I listen to anytime I'm sad.
I'm trying to think the one that was on there that was like the cornerstone of the playlist was How to Disappear Completely by Radiohead.
Ooh, there you go.
That is a very sad song.
Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares by XX. That's a good sad one I listen to a lot.
That's a good. I could see that.
Yeah. Let's see. Depression by Black Flag. It's not sad, but the subject matter is very sad.
It was kind of funny, like with my breakup music, like the older I got, like every breakup I would go, the music would get more and more extreme. Like my first like high school breakup, I think the big song was Best of You by the Foo Fighters. That was like my breakup song.
Yeah.
It's a good song. But then it's just like by the time of my last like big breakup.
Oh, you listened to the Bugs Life soundtrack, right?
Absolutely. No, I was listening to like I Hate God and Acid Bath, and it's just stuff of like
I only say the Bugs Life thing because it's a bit of a deep cut. Because I
actually don't think I can remember a single song on the Bugs Life soundtrack.
I only say because I just remember Jake. I don't know if you said on the podcast, but you said Jacob said that your ex looked like the bug from Bugs Life.
Yep,
the ladybug from Bugs Life.
Yep.
And so, but yeah, in terms of sad, I think I can actually look because there. You know how Spotify does that thing where at the top of your like songs they have like the genres.
No different, yeah.
Like some of them are emotions, and like one of mine was angst.
Angst is a good one.
Yeah, and so yeah, there's a good amount of sad stuff. No surprises is really, it's sad, but it's like a different type of sad.
Mm-hmm.
No surprise.
More like almost like a melancholy.
Yeah.
Sullen maybe.
Yeah, there's always the classic Mad World, the cover by Gary Jules.
I've come to like I don't like that cover anymore. Listening to the original compared to it, I was like, the original's such a better song.
The original, I like the instrumentation a lot.
It's just such a nice clash of like the lyrics are so sad and then it's just such a happy beat.
Tears for Fears is awesome.
Tears for Fears is fucking great.
Yeah, I still remember the only joke the Chris Rock joke that ever pissed me off recently was I was watching an episode of Everybody Hates Chris, as you do, because it's on Hulu. This episode is sponsored by Hulu, but there's an episode where he talks about he really wanted a Walkman for Christmas, and he's like, oh yeah, Walkman is cool. He's doing his narration. He's like, a Walkman is cool because even if you listen to bad music, you can no one will know. And like they show Chris is sitting next to a guy at the bus stop and he's listening to Shout by Tears for Fears. And I was like, what?
No, that's a great song.
I was like, you could have picked anything to represent bad music and you picked Tears for Fears?
Like, in my opinion, the best like pop duo of the 80s.
Yeah, it's like Tears for Fears, like Duran Duran, and like, you know.
Hall & Oates could be up there.
Yeah, I was like, if you go back a little farther, Hall & Oates could be there. Were they in the 80s? I know they did a lot in the 70s.
They were set, but I think they had a couple big hits in the 80s as well. They're kind of like that but like 70s going into 80s.
Hall & Oates is awesome. I love Hall & Oates. Enough hatred. We can talk about things we like.
Yeah.
And I think we're on our last question.
Lionel Richie.
Lionel is that what you listen to?
That's the answer to the question.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's what you listen to when you're sad.
Nah, I love Lionel Richie though.
Have you seen like the trend of like clown girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the Clissy is anything that I would fawn over, but what I am saying is that we have one more question to answer. At Zach.Shazam, he sends us one on Instagram.
Oh God, I don't like this laugh.
He sends us one on Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna read this. He asks, why do we so easily accept Alvin and the Chipmunks as natural? Talking and singing animals. Why doesn't the government seize them to study them? On one hand, we could learn from them and possibly reproduce their blasphemous mutation, but no.
I like this question.
But no, they're very. No, you have to wait, Colton. But no, their very existence is a slight against God, and they must be purged. Their harmonious siren calls are but Satan's lullaby, and they signal the coming of the end of our world in fire and death. There's more. There's more.
Okay. You there?
Yeah, I'm just laughing. Anyway, to answer your question, no, I don't want to upgrade my popcorn to a mega. Yes, I understand. Yes, I understand it doesn't. Yes, I understand. It doesn't come with a refill. Put extra butter on it. Oh, it's self-serve? Okay. Hey, I wanted the large one. Why did you give me the medium? Why did it cost so much? Why did it cost so much then? You should give me a pizza for the inconvenience. Stop being rude to me, or I'm going to shit on the floor right now, and it'll be your problem. Hey, is my text-to-speech on?
I don't think that was a question. I think that was just
a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, it was an art piece.
To answer your question, I think your text-to-speech was on.
To answer the question, I think you should listen to the Alvin the Chipmunks Slowed Down if you haven't. Have you listened to it?
No.
If you go on YouTube, they
Does it sound evil?
It's kind of, it's really weird and surreal, but like I legitimately really enjoy it. Like especially their Walk Like an Egyptian. Alvin and the Chipmunks Slow Down. It's just like, walk like an Egyptian.
It's just like old, like 90s industrial rock.
That's honestly what it sounds like.
It sounds like Nine Inch Nails. I
would definitely. I think it's called like Chipmunk Sludge or something like that. You can find it on YouTube.
The fact that we've allowed the thing that gets me about Alvin and the Chipmunks is they became famous because someone heightened up the pitch and were like, that's really funny. That is comedy gold. That's going to sell. And it just did.
Comedy was easier back in the day.
Yeah. You could either...
But I mean, if you think about it, Fred just basically did the exact same thing. And Fred was huge for a while.
Yeah. We will never grow tired of high-pitched voices, I guess. Comedy seemed a little easier in the 40s and 50s. You could either... heighten up your voice or do blackface. You have one of two options.
If you did both together, you slayed.
Imagine just this man with nail polish, shoe polish all over his face, but he sounds like Alvin from Alvin the Chipmunks.
He's like, yes, sir, master, sir. I love watermelon.
Okay, I could feel that being like a weird comedy sketch nowadays on like Tim and Eric or something like
just
that.
Something Adult
where
Swim.
it's
Yeah.
so surreal and bizarre that it loops back around to being funny.
Just like an Eric Andre bit or something.
Yeah. It like geared towards stoners at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, and even I don't even smoke, but like Eric Andre's great until he endorsed NFTs.
I mean, get your money, I guess, but
yeah. Speaking of which, this episode is sponsored by Alvin and the Chipmunks NFTs. Go ahead.
It's chipmunkin' awesome.
Chipmunk, get chipmunk off. Get your monk on.
It's monkin' time.
It's monkin' time. That was my favorite part of Alvin and the Chipmunks, where he looks at Dave and says it's monkin' time. And then he takes another chipmunk into the hotel room. She's like, "Well, you're about to get monked, sweetheart." And then Simon walks in and is like, "That was my wife." And then Alvin's like, "Sorry, man. Looks like she just got monked."
You just got monked.
It's like, "No, you monked all over her face. I can still see the residue." You were my brother. You were my brother, Alvin. I trusted you. I loved you.
It should have been me.
It's that Yu-Gi-Oh clip kills me. The thing is, I remember watching that episode live on TV too, because it was where like I think he unlocks some like dark something in the Millennium Puzzle, and like it takes over like his mind, and so the Pharaoh battles Yugi in a duel. And like he loses, and then he gets like sucked up into like the Shadow Realm or something, and then they gotta go save him. And like it's funny because he's like they took Yugi, and then like his friends are idiots. They're like, "What do you mean?" Joey's like, "What do you mean, Yug? You're right here talking to me. What do you mean they took Yugi?" He's like, "No, they took Yugi. It should have been me.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair."
It should have been me is just such a funny saying.
I know. I put that whenever I saw this meme of like this like 3 foot tall man, and it's like a bunch of pictures of him like because he married like a black BBW, and I was like, it should have been me, not him. It's not fair. I've been really into like alternative weird black women are kind of my flavor right now.
Hey,
But I just need to find something.
Gotta go to zombies.
Like really weird, nerdy black women are kind of it. You know?
Yeah, maybe not zombies.
Maybe not zombies.
I mean,
alternative black women are great. I love them. Mwah. Chef's kiss. But like really nerdy, like weird black women with like glasses, you know?
anime black girls.
Anime black girl. Weeaboo black girls in general. Like, where are you and can I have your phone number?
You should have gone to San Japan. I bet there were some there.
I know. And the ones that have like natural hair too, like they're big afros, but like they dress up and it's just like, like, why don't you come over here and we'll continue the race together? How about that? You know?
I think that's a good pickup line. But I do think
it's a good send off too.
Yeah, good send off because I got to get ready for work. I'm
Thanks.
a loser.
No, I'm just kidding. It's the allergies, bro. Like I'm getting a lot of mucus.
Oh, I think it's the weather's finally changing.
It's finally getting cool down here in the great old state of Texas. But thanks for listening, everybody. I'm just gonna die real quick. We appreciate you. Make sure to. That was a burp.
Like and subscribe.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on
Smash
Spotify.
that like button.
Make sure to smash my wife, and I'll just watch. I'll be in the corner. You won't even know I'm there. Radical. Being cut is totally radical cool. I love when a black bull destroys my tiny Asian wife.
Jesus Christ.
I can't tell if you're disappointed or laughing.
A mixture of both.
But yeah, make sure to like us on Spotify, follow us. I have to do something again to put us back on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts because I think there's like some terms or something I have to do again because the last episode didn't go up on Apple. And I think
they did update the end user agreement or whatever.
So I gotta go on there and fix that. But the next one will be on Apple. I don't know if you noticed, Colton, but I put a sponsorship at the begining of all the episodes.
I did.
Yeah. And
rich.
Anchor allows us to get paid. So if you listen to us, we've already made a whole quarter. So I guess,
dude.
Yeah, we'll have to split
Coke
that.
And prostitutes for everybody.
We'll have to split that down the middle, I guess.
You can take the 13 cents. I'll take the 12.
Okay, we'll do a 51.49.
That works.
Yeah, for all profits. This is a binding agreement right now.
Nah, shit. You do most of the work. We could do like a 70-30.
I would feel bad though. Like I would feel bad taking.
You do everything. I just talk.
But it's a great voice, Colton.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but follow us on Spotify for sure. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. I'll make sure to get the up and running. We want to do video soon. My camera works. Well, I think Colton's camera died.
I need to get a new laptop soon.
Yeah.
It's really on its final legs.
It's still the one that you installed Linux on, right?
Yeah.
7 years ago? 8 years ago?
Yeah, it's from 2014.
8 years ago. Wow. Surprised that thing hasn't given you some sort of like poison gas or something at this point.
God, truthfully, like it won't turn on. The battery's so old, like it won't turn on unless it is plugged into the wall.
Oh man, but yeah, make sure to follow us, like us. Please like us. We just want to be liked. We'll be trying to release a little more frequently now that we have some sort of schedule. Not really, but we'll get together.
Yeah, basically, days that my wife works, morning times are really the only time I can record.
Yeah, and so we'll do that. And I feel like there's something else I need to say, but I'm not too sure. I don't know. But thanks for listening, guys.
You can put it in post.
Hey guys, I actually forgot. I have information to indict Hillary Clinton. The information that you seek is